The risk that we're taking in today's debate is not just about solving problems by petty crimes or having vigilantes going around the streets and having street justice applied to individuals. Now, something which is very problematic from side government today is the fact that they argue they don't want to allow extrajudicial killing, they want to allow individuals to be above the law in the name of vigilantism. But they have not provided to us any form of yardstick to define where is it that vigilantism is no longer vigilantism and simply an act of murder. Where have they not shown any form of limitations in the powers that you're going to allow these vigilantes to have in status quo? Even so, they are going to argue that they are going to be under the surveillance of the government anyway. We say that even if you say that these individuals, these vigilantes, are going to be under the surveillance of governments like in Mexico, right? This Rakan Corp or whatever it is. It's like a subordinate of the executive forces. They're not vigilantes. Now, not only that they have not characterized vigilantism in a proper manner, they also did not understand the implications of what will happen if you allow vigilantism into society to solve issues of crime, which should be solved by government, not the state, not the society, not everyone else. No, thank you. Right? So this is what I'm going to talk to you in today's debate. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to explain to you about a very simple issue, about the concept of justice, which is not understood by side government today, which they do not understand how vigilantism works. Where we're going to explain to you how vigilantism works in the first place. I'll give you first a few cases for you to analyze. Thank you. We discussed about cases in 1913 in Atlanta, where a 13-year-old girl, Mary Fagan, was strangled to death. And we see this case has been gone through courts, and the court have been under proceedings when a lynch mob of 1,635 individuals stormed into the penitentiary, kidnapped Leo Clark, and took him out and lynched him, hanged him from a tree, murdered him because they say that he's supposed to get more punishment. So these vigilantes took actions in their hands, saying that justice is what they deem as right. Justice is what these vigilantes say is right, not what the law is supposed to control, not what the law has been understood by the society as a whole. They don't understand what law truly is. Law is a common understanding of what the society truly have agreed on what is wrong and what is right, not what these vigilantes want to say is wrong or right. Here.
Okay, that's a case of where rogue vigilantism occurs and where it's just unjustified. But when we can justify vigilantism, when there's a war against drug cartels, when there's a war against gangsterism, and the police are insufficient, then would you allow vigilantism, Ijlal?
Dude, your issue here is that you're saying that these police are not enough, but you're not fixing the problem. You're not trying to solve. You're not trying to improve the police force in the first place. You're just installing these vigilantes, diminishing the powers of these police, and you're gonna show that the government is neglecting their responsibilities to improve these authorities in the first place. You say, people, you can use your guns and kill all these murderers if you want to. We're not gonna do anything about it. That's what they said have been doing to this debate. What they should be catering to, if they have so much problem with the authority, they should be improving it. Even if they say that they're going to improve it, we say that installing vigilantism simply diminishes the power of these authorities in the end of the day, which is going to be more terrible, which is going to be more problematic for these policemen to actually go and eradicate crime in the end of the day. So that's why we don't agree with vigilantism. Right, now I'm going to talk and move on to our argument today about how the concept of justice depends entirely on how these vigilantes deem it as it is. Yes.
Okay, so your problem with vigilantism is that you just don't know the definition of vigilantism. If somebody is stopping somebody else in the midst of a crime, then we can ascertain that it's vigilantism, just like we can ascertain that murder is self-defense when he's stopping somebody from killing him.
Look, we are okay with self-defense, but we understand your situation on saying that the person stops another guy from murdering someone else. Then we say we are completely fine with that. But the fact here is that you allow extrajudicial killing and you're not having regulations whatsoever. So we say this is extremely harmful because we have a balance of probability having a lot of individuals in society which may not necessarily go for this. You're putting this in your best case scenario, right? Let's take it into your worst case scenario. Your worst case scenario is that you don't have limitations. You are going to allow everyone in a high crime area to simply go around and kill everyone. Now here's the thing. If a vigilante goes and kills murderers, right? Is he a vigilante or is he a murderer? So that's the question that we need to ask. We need to ask the question, why is it that this vigilante is not subjected to law, not subjected to the law, not punished when he murders another person, when he murders another murderer? So this is a question that we need to ask to their side today. How do you truly define vigilantism? So we say we should never have it anyway. Just allow the legitimacy of the law to be present in the executive forces in the end of the day. No, I'm going to talk about the concept of justice. Thank you guys. So now, how I'm going to talk to you about how these executive forces exist in the first place, because they are able to legitimize the punishments, right? The punishments that they apply and subject to these criminals, in the end of the day, are justified. We talked about the status quo, where these, taking into consideration, if we have to improve the authorities in these the areas with high crime rates, right? We say that if they were to apply punishments, it is justified. They have gone through the fair trials, they have gone through proceedings, they have gone through all the evidences before you prosecute a person, before you sentence a person to death. But on their side today, a vigilante can simply go and shoot down a person that he suspects have committed rape or murder and says that I have applied the execution here. Even if he have applied the punishment correctly, but we say that he still is unable to justify his punishment. Why, or what cause have you say that I murdered this guy because he murdered my sister, right? And when you argue on that basis here, you don't put any form of evidence. You don't give the murderer, you don't give, assuming that he's a murderer, you don't give that person a chance for him to be trialed and to be tested and to have evidence to further legitimize your punishment here. So this is the problem on their side. When you give too much power to these vigilantes to murder everyone else, or maybe to take justice into their hands, right? What happens is that the extrapolation and the dilution of the value of law happens. On their side, they don't understand. Why is it that we need the law? Why is it that we need these executive forces to apply the law towards these criminals in the first place and not vigilantes? Because they have the legitimacy to punish these individuals. You can't simply punish everyone and make everyone become a murderer in the name of vigilantism. So this is a burden that they have to argue on today's debate. They are not arguing on how they say that vigilantism is simply another act of a policeman. If you so agree that today's debate they want to have security, then we say improve the security forces and not install too much uncontrolled variables into society where you are unable to control these vigilantes. In the end of the day, you're simply going to cause a lot of trouble. You're going to allow people to be rampantly killing, committing extrajudicial killing, and taking into actions on their own hand, murdering someone, maybe even in the end of the day wrongfully convicting a person of a crime that he may not even do. So this is a thing that we don't agree with side government in today's debate. Thank you.